OP05's release is finally upon us. And I've been hard at work making a full breakdown of the entire set so that you know which cards are in the set and so you can make up your mind whether or not this is a set that you would like to pick up. And with all the colors now being reviewed on this channel, the only thing left to do is review the alternate art and give you guys my personal chase list for OP05. Hello everyone and welcome to Anything Geek. My name is Zero and today I'm gonna give you my top pick choice when it comes to pretty cards in the OP05 set. These are gonna be the cards that I think are the prettiest or the most interesting and the cards that I personally wish to pull when I finally open those 2 boxes of OP05 that I got coming for this channel. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you get notified when those opening comes out on the channel. And without further ado, let's look at those pretty cards. And we are gonna start with the rare cards that have alternate art. And the first alternate art that we find is Bello Betty, and I mean, I'm not particularly a big fan of this art. I think there are betters in the set, so it's still cool, but it wouldn't be my chase. Baby 5 as well, it's a very nice card, I would be happy to have it, but this is not what I would chase as a special card. X-Drake I have no interest at all, I'm not particularly fond of the character nor the cards in the set, but Zoro. Zoro though, that's another story. This art is sick. It's got a lot of motion, a lot of effect, and just when you see that art like that, you know that with the alternate art treatment that they apply to all the cards with the texture and all, you know this is gonna be good, because you can see, even if here it's just flat, all the smoke around Zoro and the purple-ish smoke on his sword and around him, you know these effects in the alternate art version, they're probably gonna be bangers. So this would be a card that I would wish for. Mancheri is very cute, I like it, but this is not like chase worthy, but it's still very cute. And of course the artist is already known for his work on Pokemon and on some other cards, so we know his style is kind of childish like that, like crayons and stuff like that, and he makes very good art, but I wouldn't chase this, but I would be curious to see what the texture effect would be on such an artwork in the One Piece card game. Rebecca is beautiful, but come on, we all know this is just for 2 main reasons, right? Now, I don't mind a little bit of fan service here and there, but so obvious and so in your face, I'm not that big of a fan. And also we have kind of the opposite of Rebecca with the husbando that we know as Rob Lucci. Of course this is like a white knight for some people, they're gonna call him a straight up husbando like that and be all over him. I really don't have like an opinion on this. If I get it, yeah, cool. I'm not that big of a fan of Rob Lucci either, so meh. And lastly we have Gedatsu, which actually, just for the motion and the kind of fiery effect that you can see on the cards around his fist, that should be interesting to see as an alternate art, but again, I wouldn't like place this as a chase for me. It's more of yeah, I'm curious to see this and it might be cool, but I won't be actively seeking to get that card. The Zoro though, that's the card I want. Next we're gonna take a look at the SRs of the set, and we start with Koala, which is a very cute character in and of itself, and I really like her character overall and her design. And I would say, like, for this SR specifically, since there's a lot of water effect around her, because she's using the Fishman Karate style, this should be very interesting for the artwork and the effect on an SR. So definitely one I would be glad to have. I'm not actively gonna chase it, but it's pretty higher than the rest, but not as high as others. Sabo, the arts look very fine and very polished, but there's nothing that's really standing out to me and that hits me like I need this card, so that's not gonna be a chase for me. I still think that the art is very cool, but it's not the one I would put top of my priority list either. Next, we have Pika for the Doflamingo family, and the same thing for him goes as for Gedatsu. I see some fire effects on the card. I'm curious to see this live if I open a pack with these cards, but again, just like some of the others, this is not something that I would actively chase. Still taking school, just big dude doing big dude things, kinda not my jam. Ulti, on the other hand, I mean, that's a character just like Koala that I like the design of, and I like her style, especially because she's the dinosaur that like headbutts things, and it's reflected in her design, and I like that very much. Also, like, you can see on this card specifically the lightning effect around her hands and her body. That has got to throw some very hard vibes when you open the cards live. This would be a card that I would be glad to have. Next, we have Borsalino, and the realistic style, you already kinda know this, I'm not that big of a fan. That being said, you also know I like when some artwork have a lot of motion to them, and this definitely has that motion in the leg throwing the kick. So I'm kind of mixed on this one because I like the pose and the motion in the art, but I don't like the art itself. So if I ever see this live, I would be glad to maybe change my mind, because the lightning of his kick might be very interesting art-wise on an alternate card, but other than that, kind of meh as well. Next, we have Trafalgar Law, drawn by Akira Egawa, the infamous Akira Egawa, who's done a ton of artwork for the One Piece card game, and his arts are always kind of the most sought after, but that's not really a style that I really like. I do have to recognize that his style is very, very intricate and very complex, and also very pretty. Just not in the range that I would go, this is instantly something that I want, but the art is still pretty cool. If I get any card from Akira Egawa, I would be glad, because I know his work is of quality and I can respect that. Like some others, I just wouldn't put this top of my list. Next, we have Kid, something that's more along the line of what I like, because you have both of his fists surrounded by lightning, and those effects are sure to translate very well into an alternate art. And also we have some sort of motion in the pose, so I like that very much. I would be glad to pull this from a box. Now, NL is gonna be kind of an oddball for this list, because I am so interested in the NL deck, the leader and such. I want to build this so bad, so if I have an alternate art of this SR NL, I will scream. This would be like just absolutely gorgeous. I can play this in my deck, I can like complete the NL deck that I want to have with cards that are prettier than average. Also, is kind of maniacal pose and laugh in this artwork is very funny to me, because if you know the character, you know how he is, and that just adds to the whole thing. Also, the lightning are sure to have some mad effect of texture on them, so this is definitely one of my chase for OP05. Next, we're gonna take a look at the special before we move on to the bigger card in the set, meaning leader, manga rares, and stuff like that. And for those special rare, we start with Nami, the Nami from OP01. I'm not that into that art style of special rare, but I would say this is one of the few that I would like to have if I get a special rares. Because when you compare all of them, and you're probably gonna get one in, I mean, I'm opening 2 bucks, so I'm probably gonna have at least one, I think. This is one of the cards that I would be okay to have. I'm not gonna specifically seek out that special rare, but I would be glad to have it, because I know the effects are crazy and I know the card is still very pretty. That's not top of my chase, but I'm cool if I have it. The same goes for Yamato really, and I would like Yamato over Nami if at all possible, because I like Yamato better when it comes to play, because Nami, we all know her, she's just the searcher, and we've had her like several times in different versions, so we don't need really another special of her, because we're gonna have it again in the best collection, and there's one also coming in the first anniversary for the global version. So I mean, just stop it with the Nami. Bandai banned the Nami because she was too good and too used, so come on, stop with the reprint of her and give us something else. Yamato for me is a better special rare that I would want to have over Nami. Same goes for Uta, because I like the character, but I will still put Yamato above Uta, just because I think art-wise the one of Yamato is better. I like the pose better and the background better, but I know like the effects on all of them are gonna be crazy, so it's gonna be amazing whichever I pull, that I know of for certain. Next we have the Rob Lucci from OP03, and again, not really a big fan of Rob Lucci, so this isn't really like tickling my hypometer. Kaido is a bit better because I do play Kaido in my VV deck, and this Kaido just goes so hard, and the art is still cool because it has more motion than the others, so that's already a plus for me. And again, I know the background and the alternate art treatment is gonna be crazy, so this would have more eye value for me than some of the others, but I would still put Yamato before Kaido. And lastly, NL, this is gonna be the same as the SR because it is actually the same card, just a special version. And yes, I would very much like to have it because, I mean, the set is just gonna come out, so I won't have the full playset right off the bat, and so if I can snag one before I have all of them, yeah, that's gonna be amazing. The alternate art for NL are gonna pair super well with my NL deck that I plan to build, so yeah, of course this would be one of my chase. And let's move on to the secret rares, and I'm gonna separate the manga rares from the secret rares, so just know I'm not gonna put them at the same level. Manga rares are gonna be their categories of their own, but as far as secret rares alternate goes, we have Kaido, which I think is very cool, so I wouldn't be mad if I get one of the alternate over the regulars, just for the fact that you got all those cool lights and flame around him, and that's sure to translate super well into alternate. And overall the character is very good also, so yeah, I mean, this would be like one of the cards that I would try to have opening 2 boxes, but not over some others. And for the next card, of course, please be advised, this is a minor spoiler for the end of Wano, because we're gonna talk about the other secret rare, which is Monkey, the Luffy Gear 5 version. Now, I'm not gonna explain anything about why he looks the way he does. If you stumble upon this, I'm not gonna spoil anything story-wise. I'm just here to talk about the art, and this with all the childish stuff in the background, the kind of like paint going all over, I like very much. So when it comes to that secret rare, the Gear 5 Luffy, I would actually have all 3 of them. Because remember, there's also the manga rares, so I would like to have all 3 of them, but I know this is not gonna be possible, and most likely I'm gonna have this over the manga rares, stat-wise. But yeah, I mean, if I could have the manga rare, of course I would go with the manga rare, but this is more realistically what I will end up with. So yeah, I would be very glad to pull that card out of the box that I'm gonna open. And speaking of the manga rare, let's address those right now. So Law, of course, it's a very cool card, but I mean, I'm not like that much enthusiast at the idea of that manga rare, even though you can see like some of his story in the background from when he was a kid, and that story hits very hard. That's still not a card that I would chase, even though I think any manga rares is like top notch and very cool, and I want them, but I will not hope for more than one manga rare, and I think we can all pretty much agree which one I'm gonna want out of the three. Captain Kidd, same goes for him. I like the design of Captain Kidd. I like some of his poses, although like not the realistic anime ones, more the manga ones. This is no different. It's a very cool card. It's Captain Kidd. He's got a lot of charisma, but this is not a card that I would chase even for the manga rares. But I mean, Gear 5 Luffy, you cannot not wish to pull this card. I mean, it's such like a key moment in the anime, such a big reveal and a historical moment that turned the One Piece history on its head when it got revealed. This is like one of the manga rares of the game, which we know manga rares are, they're just so cool. Just being manga rares is already like so cool, but to have like this specific panel of the manga being a manga rare, of course, this is gonna be my personal ultimate chase for this set. There's no card that's gonna go above that, or maybe. We'll talk about this in a second. Because of course, right now, there's only the leaders left for this chase list that I'm offering you and review of all the alternate art. And we are back to the classical portrait of the alternate art leaders. And starting with Sabo, I mean, I like Sabo and his story overall, but the art in itself and the leader don't interest me that much. So this is clearly not a leader that I would like to pull, because I wouldn't care really for that alternate art leader. And as we know, they're already like so hard to get in a box, so yeah, there's a limited space on my wish list and Sabo isn't making it. The same goes for Bello Betty, sadly. Even though Bello Betty is one of the meta leader from OP05, I'm not that interested in playing the Red Revolutionary Army. And I've been one of the first to say when the Revolutionary Army came out that this was gonna be the top meta again, just like Whitebeard. It was like Whitebeard Pirates all over again for set 5. I know that, just looking at the cards, I saw how strong they were and I said it just like straight out the bat, but I'm not interested in playing just this archetype and having the alternate leader to go with it. So sadly, no, not a chase for me. The same goes for Rocinante, and it's a tough choice to make because I like the story overall of Rocinante and Law and Doflamingo, but I know that I'm not gonna play that leader that much. I'm gonna fiddle with it because it's interesting to have a blocker on a leader, but I'm not gonna take this to any tournament, or I'm not gonna go ham on the theory craft with that leader. And so yeah, the alternate art doesn't make sense for me, and also I think there are prettier cards to chase in that set. The next leader we have is Sakazuki, and although I like the design of the cards and I know this is meta, this is not what I'm gonna play. So if I get it, cool, because I know it's meta and the art is cool, but that's not one of my personal chase. It's rather like one of those, if I get it, cool, if I don't, meh, not mad. Purple Luffy, now that is one that I would like to have, because one, the effect is very cool and it pairs well with the Gear 5 Luffy that I want to have, and also the art on the card is very cool as well. I like that Luffy pose where he's smiling but he's getting kind of serious, you know, he's getting into the game and stuff like that. So I like the design very much, and I like the game design of that card very much, so that definitely makes it to my chase list. And the last leader we're gonna talk about, of course it is making it into my personal chase list. NL, the effect, as soon as I saw it, again you can go see the video where I talk about it, that effect looks just so fun to play. Of course it's gonna make my chase list. The art also is cool. I wanted to have originally, like pretty much everyone, we wanted the art where he's got like all the big eyes when he's realizing that he cannot hit Luffy, but then when you consider which power they actually put on that card, mechanically wise, it totally makes sense that this is the art that they went for. And I am 100% behind it, and I want this card, and this is gonna be ultimately the chase for me for this set, even above Luffy, that we just saw, the purple Luffy, but still not above the Gear 5 Luffy. I mean, come on, nothing beats Gear 5 Luffy. Or is it? Because there is obviously two last cards that we haven't talked about yet, and those are the anniversary cards. Now, the drop rate for the anniversary, the normal version, the one you're seeing right now, is of 1 per case. So far, that's what we know about that pull rate, and so since I'm taking 2 boxes, it might be possible that I get one. And I would be very glad to have one, because it's a very pretty card. It's drawn by Oda himself. Of course, I'm gonna want to add this to my collection. So yes, this is a chase for me. And also, it's probable that I get one. So this has me hyped to get one for my collection. The signed version though, that's like, I'm not even betting on it. If I get this, of course, I'm gonna be like all over the moon. I'm gonna scream again, and I'm gonna like be all over the place, because this is an insane card. This is the ultimate card for this set. That's the anniversary version signed by Oda himself. He's not signing all the cards that are printed for the game, obviously, but this is still like a card that he applied his signature to. So this is like, this is one of the prettiest cards ever for the game, and it has made specifically for that occasion. So of course, this would be the ultimate chase for anybody buying any OP05 set. Even if it's a card from the starter deck one, it doesn't matter. But here we go, guys. These are my chases for the OP05 set list, as well as the final nail in the coffin of the OP05 breakdown that I've been put out these past few weeks. So let me know in the comment section below which is your top 1 card's ultimate chase for the OP05 set. Which is the absolute most favorite card you've seen so far. Leave me that in the comments below. Tell me I'm wrong for wanting to have the alternate for NL and not for Uta, for instance. And in the meantime, as always, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to share this video with your friends that want to pick OP05 and that maybe don't know which cards are in there, or which alternate art there are in the set. That way they will know for sure which card they would absolutely want for that set. And of course, if you're still here, that means the video was at the very least entertaining to you, so please leave a like. You know you have to for the manga Gear 5 Luffy, and also for the Oda signed card. I mean, come on, those deserves a like. And also make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to never miss anything geek. Bye guys.